we are 48 hours from the big announcement at Craft and Commerce.
This part of the process definitely feels like very high stakes. The success of our rebrand all hinges on us getting this brand strategy right. Quite honestly, I'm nervous.
What you're trying to decide on is really hard because you're already a successful business, right? So like, you've got something to lose, you've got skin in the game. So like, change is risk.
So the rebrand process has officially begun, and the very first thing that we're tackling is strategy. This is something that we've decided to bring in external help with, because even though our core team is great and we could absolutely do something like this, we've got to focus on other things as well, you know, and bringing in people who do this all the time for companies our size and even larger, it's going to make our brand even better at the end of the day.
I think the key to my rebrand success has been that I haven't done it alone.
I've been a designer for 25 years and I still hire out for my own brand stuff because it's so difficult to be objective about yourself and your organization and your company.
So we have chosen to work with a brand agency called Koto, and I'm really excited about them because the way that they approach working with clients is super collaborative. We wanted to be able to work on it with the agency rather than just hand off the work to them and, you know, have them come back with something complete. And another great thing about Koto is that they were also excited about the idea of us rebranding in public.
It's scary and exciting. I mean, we're not used to doing this camera thing, so that's new.
To be completely honest, at the beginning, I was maybe a little apprehensive, but that kind of all went out the window the second we started.
You hear about these huge rebrands and everyone's like, why did they pay £1 million for Pepsi to rebrand? All they did was change the logo. It's because no one actually knows what goes on in a rebrand.
First of all, like, thanks for picking us. And yeah, we're super excited.
Generally, we can kind of bucket this process into three. So the emotional research, which is where we're at the minute and where we'll be for the next couple of weeks. We'll then move into the brand strategy phase before moving into the visual and verbal identity.
Brand strategy is hard to understand if you are unfamiliar with it. The easiest way that we explain it is connecting what a business does to why someone should care.
Any designer can make anything look good, right? But it's not going to be underpinned with any kind of story or messaging. The strategy adds this level of depth and this like reason for why something looks the given way that it does.
A lot of people jump straight into the exciting part of branding, logos, colors, fonts, and while that is exciting, a lot of the decisions are often made around things that are trendy right now.
One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen creators make with their own brand, they pick a font because they like it. And that's not how a designer picks a font. They pick colors because they like it. And that's not how designers pick colors.
Brand strategy is really just asking questions to understand what's at the core of your brand. The one question I always get people to ask is, what do you want to be known for? And once you have that answer, creating content that communicates that answer, creating visuals that create a sense of that answer.
We really start just by getting to know the clients we work with.
So we talk to all the different stakeholders involved with Kit, internally or externally.
Then we also move into a research phase that looks outside. So as much as we're getting to know you, we also need to get to know your world. So understanding what are your competitors talking about, how are they winning in the market, and where might be some opportunities.
It was fascinating to watch someone else deeply study the brand and ecosystem that we've built over so long.
We got their insights into some refinements we should make to our target audience.
Those early nuggets were really exciting. Things like creators who mean business.
And that immediately felt right. There's this sense of like, yes, we're creators and we're having fun doing our work, we're doing what we love, but this is a serious business and we are taking this seriously.
I've sat with the creators who mean business and used that more over the last week. I really like it because
Nathan's ready to officially make it our tagline. He's trying to put it in his speech.
I think because that's the way that I've talked about it with creators, not that phrasing, but when they're like, well, why this platform or that platform, you know, and it's basically around like, how seriously are you taking this?
Yeah.
I think that's exactly why
this was so resonant to us in the beginning because that's just so true and authentic to who you are. It does feel unique in the space at this moment in time because there's nobody really talking about what it takes to get it done and celebrating that and championing that.
There was an interesting emotional arc going through that, where first it was so much excitement. They did so much research and I was really, really excited about that. And then we started to get into the specifics of, okay, what does this new brand mean? And then I think as we started to get into trying to apply that, we got bogged down and it was like, oh, this is hard. You know, we got really stuck trying to define these specific things and take like a general feeling and get to precise words.
There was a lot of really interesting ideas in what they presented in this first phase, but they all sort of were higher level than maybe we were expecting. None of them felt quite right. And so that was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking. After each presentation from Kodo, we have a call internally to like align on what feedback we want to pass on to them. And at the end of this first like internal discussion call, Nathan said, I think we should share this call with them. And my immediate reaction was, oh, wow, okay, we were very honest in this call.
I was very frustrated coming out of the call earlier, whenever the hell that was. I felt like for the rigor that we're asking them to put into this, I am surprised that that's where you netted out, even as a starting point.
For me, I felt like the first one felt a bit like obvious. And then the second one, I still don't understand it.
I'll just echo that. This is where I started to lose the plot in the call.
When we first received the feedback call, I think we were all slightly nervous to watch it, but also were kind of taken aback by how transparent the ConvertKit team were being. Like the proof was really in the pudding with you guys feeling like you could trust us and give us that recording. And I think what it did was really give us like the raw, honest, proper feedback that we needed. And we're not having to try and read between the lines of written feedback. And I think that was completely invaluable.
I was very impressed by Koto's reaction to it. And so we gave Koto the feedback that we'd like them to go back to the drawing board almost and come back to us presenting something that was more around the way that we would explain our product.
There's a really interesting relationship between brand strategy and product strategy because they are so closely connected. If you try to define one without the other, it's just gonna fall flat.
Taking those brand concepts and extending them into your products, into your business model makes a lot of sense because that further strengthens the brand. When I landed on the Creator Science brand, it made sense that I renamed my membership from the Creative Companion Club to the Lab because it's related to the science motif.
I think for the rebrand to be successful, we need to use this new kit product philosophy to solve some of these professional creator pain points that we're seeing. ConvertKit has been around for a long time. So Kit has a very deep knowledge of creator businesses. Kit knows what works. And the Kit product philosophy is going to be about how do we take our knowledge and expertise? How do we give creators all of these insights that only we have to build them a tool that they can use to be successful?
I think the product is a huge part of defining the brand because that's what creators interact with every day. So much of our brand is not about us, but it's about what we enable creators to do. We're really just the conduit from the great ideas that creators have through the end result that their subscribers and their fans end up receiving. We want to provide the kit for you to achieve all of your goals as a creator. And we're doing it through an app store, we're doing it through a whole platform.
ConvertKit's moving from, okay, we're email and some other stuff to a platform. And that's really what creators need is a platform that's not all duct taped together. And I think that's why it fits so well within the new branding.
We really focus on value. I think that's what makes creators on Kit stand out. What does it mean to build a valuable business? It creates value in that you use it to pay your mortgage, to care for your family, but there's also the value that you bring to your audience. It's not about what can my fans do for me, it's what can I do for my audience. If we use value as a through line through the brand and the product, then that'll take care of so many things. Creators will be able to earn a living, their fans and their audience will stick around for a long time because they're getting a lot out of it. And it's just going to really result in this virtuous cycle that means more and more results for creators, a better experience for their subscribers, and on from there. And so the way that we've talked about it with Kodo is around we exist to help creators build valuable businesses.
I'm at the airport. I'm heading to London to meet Koto in person for the first time. We find that it's always easier to both deliver and receive feedback when you have some form of like personal relationship with the person giving or receiving that feedback. Getting to spend time in person this early in the project when we're reaching that point where it is time for us to give that critical feedback to the team on the options they're presenting us. It's going really well. Let's head on in. So when they came back to us with ideas that were more around the product positioning, something we really liked that they brought up was this idea of Kit as the operating system for a creative business. We really liked that that sort of encapsulated the idea of something having tools that help you with multiple parts of your business without saying it's an all-in-one. So once we'd aligned on that, that's when Koto started putting together this brand framework, which includes the vision, the mission, the positioning, the value proposition, and then like a general brand idea that we will center around. This part of the process definitely feels like very high stakes because the success of our rebrand, it all hinges on us getting this brand strategy right. This is the base that we're going to build everything on from here on out. And quite honestly, I'm nervous. We haven't nailed it quite yet, and we're reaching the end of the time we'd set aside to work on our strategy. It feels like we're circling the right option, and I really, really want us to nail it. We need to nail it.
The first thing to acknowledge is that this is hard. Like what you're trying to decide on is really hard. Like I want to swear to sort of accentuate how hard it is.
We don't mind swearing here. You can swear.
It's particularly tough and hard because you're already a successful business, right? So like you've got something to lose. You've got skin in the game. So like change is a risk, but we know why you came to us, and our only satisfaction comes from getting everybody to a place where we feel like this is really awesome and we can do something with it.
So in the final round, Koto presented us with 2 different options, and they said we have to pick one. One of the options just felt way more compelling and way more distinct than the other. The first one was around making the most of your time with the product as a creator and reaching your potential. And the second one was around fostering deeper connections with your audience and building a business with substance. And the name that we gave to this idea, just for like a shorthand, was Fit for Purpose.
As we were talking about it, one of the things we said was it could even just be a kit for purpose. That's a really simple way to say you're building something intentionally, rigorously, thoughtfully, emotionally. There's so much simplicity, but also power in an idea like that.
The positioning is spot on. Like, I'm really excited about that. I think the fit or kit for purpose captures the essence and the meaning of what we're trying to do.
This is a bolder move. It feels like almost scary in a way. This is us growing up, like we said when we announced the name change. So we have decided to focus our brand strategy on this idea of fit for purpose for a creator. We don't have the language completely locked in for the brand strategy yet, but I'm excited for it to be out there and to be able to use this opportunity of announcing it at Craft and Commerce to do a ton more research.
It's sort of this interesting balance of I have a keynote that I'm delivering in 48 hours, and I'm trying to weave these ideas in, but not quite having the final copy. I feel stressed, overwhelmed, and excited. It's both waiting for Thursday when we can actually talk about this publicly, but then realizing, oh, the work's only half done. We have to then go and do everything else to build out this brand and bring it to life.
It's almost like ConvertKit isn't the right name for us anymore. So what if we were just called Kit? Kit's interesting. A kit is a collection of tools needed for a specific purpose, a set of all the parts needed to assemble something. And we want to provide the kit to help as many of you build a valuable business. So, ConvertKit is becoming a kit.
You can feel Nathan's sincerity in it. And then I started to sit with him more, and I really like it. It's easier to say, it's short, it has more of the creator vibe around it. It feels more creative than ConvertKit.
I think Kit is the perfect name, actually. When I'm talking to other people about why they should use ConvertKit or Kit, the value of a fully integrated service is so much more evident.
Now, because we announced our rebrand at Craft and Commerce, it meant we could make use of the fact that we were in the room with a ton of professional creators to ask them some questions and start validating some of the brand strategy ideas we'd been circling around. One of my favorite questions we asked was, why did you decide to become a professional creator? Because the responses that we got to it, everyone wrote them on these little cards here, there was just so much heart, and it just gave us a lot of conviction that the idea of building a brand around the general thinking that we're helping creators build a more valuable business, a business with true substance, like it's more than just earning more money or growing a bigger audience. It really gave us the confidence that this is the direction that we want to take our brand. It's very true to us and like the reasons that Nathan started this company. So I'm very grateful to all the creators who contributed to that research, and seeing things in their own words as well helps give us ideas for different language we could use to express these ideas moving forward.
As I was working on the keynote, Mike Pacquione, who's our speaking coach, was talking about how you conclude a keynote. And he referenced Steve Jobs' original keynote when he announced the iPhone. And something that I did not realize was in there, Apple changed the name of their company in that keynote. They have this line where Steve pulls up their main products. So the Macintosh, the iPhone, iPod, and he says, when you look at this, really you'd only think of one of these, the Mac, as a computer. And so based on that, we're changing our name from Apple Computers Incorporated to Apple Incorporated. I guess I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. But it's just that realization that your vision has always been big, but now you're actually executing on it. Like it's that iceberg below the water of, you know what you're planning to do. I'm sure Apple knew what they were planning to do for years before, the products that they're building and everything else. Like they knew for years that they'd outgrown their name, but the public hadn't seen that yet. And so I think for us, that's where we've been at. We've known for years that we've outgrown our name, and now the public sees that and understands it. And so we get to build this new iconic brand to serve creators as Kit, and I'm so excited about that.
Now that we've got to a good place with our brand strategy, the next thing we get to do is dive into the creative. We get to figure out what Kit looks like, what Kit sounds like. So the next episode you see from us will be about that visual and verbal identity process, how we translate the brand strategy into our logo, our color palette, and all of that stuff for our brand.